Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here, and I have with me today Space Mountain from Walt Disney World's Creator Games.
How you doing, everybody?
Sorry, not Walt Disney World. That would be amazing. Could you imagine if the Creator Games was hosted in Walt Disney World?
I would like that very much.
I'm sure you would. I'm sorry. What I meant to say was Walt Disney WDW Magic's Creator Games. Yeah.
Maybe next
All
season.
right. Yeah, maybe. You know, for a long time, so you want to be an Imagineer, we've had this idea of having the first project be a team that could meet up in Disneyland versus a team that could potentially meet up in Disney World and do a live first project.
That'd be pretty cool.
Logistically, it would be a nightmare, but
Yeah.
I can dream, folks, can I? I can dream.
That'd be pretty awesome.
I am but a tiki with high dreams and high ambitions. All right, so Space Mountain, we're down to 10 people now on the Creator Games. We just went through a triple elimination, but before we get to all of that good stuff, let's go back to the place where Sam and I left off, and that was the sudden death challenges. This was the first sudden death, and this was for session 2, I believe.
Yeah, so where you guys left off, you guys finished with the 8 concept creation challenges.
Correct.
And those were for session 2. There were 8 teams of 2, and the lowest 2 teams had to compete in the sudden death challenge. And the sudden death challenge for this round was to take a place that is unused in Walt Disney World and make it something useful. So, we can just get into them. There were 4 projects. They were done by CTAX 98, MC Paradox, 2001 Disney Life, and Scorpion X.
All right, so let's just start in posting order with CTAX, and he did the Wonders of Nature. I got to say, I'm a big fan of this going right off the gate.
Yeah, this one was pretty cool. Originally, when I first started reading it, I was like, this sounds like the land. So it made me wonder whether this could be better placed in the land. But as you keep reading it, he goes into weather, he goes into astronomy, and just like ecosystems in general, and he has a biome ride in here. It was pretty cool. I think one thing that Epcot would be good for is a weather pavilion.
I actually think, did I design something like that? I think I might have designed something like that for the Creator Games. I'm not sure. I remember something like that being tossed around. It might not have been the idea we eventually went with, but I do remember weather.
For this one?
No, not for this. For Soul Imagineer, I mean.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That wasn't that from Animal Kingdom. You guys did a biome ride.
I don't know, man. I can't remember.
I think that was the one where you had like a dark ride. You had to create a dark ride, and you guys went conservation, and the other team did up.
No, we did up.
Oh, you did up. Then I'm confused.
Yeah, we should have won. I'm just kidding.
We won't get into that.
Back up. Because Up is a Fantasyland style dark ride, not an Epcot style dark ride. You asked for a Fantasyland style. Okay,
right.
I'm just kidding, Michael. I'm just busting your balls.
Yeah. I don't remember that one. Yeah.
So as a native of the Bay Area and San Francisco, I am very familiar with the San Francisco Museum of Science, which is in Golden Gate Park. And if you look that place up, essentially what it is kind of like there's a lot of stuff that's very similar. Like they have like a whole glass biome, and a whole forest that you can walk through. They have a planetarium. They have things that are kind of concentrated on the weather and everything. So I do wonder, I mean, if he did take inspiration from that, good job. If he didn't, it's just kind of a cool coincidence.
Yeah, he did a really good job with this. I think he had the biome attraction, and then he had an attraction similar to Storm Rider.
Yeah, right.
He had the EB Pathfinder. So Earth's Biomes Pathfinder was the scenic ride, trackless ride. where he toured the deserts, tundra, rainforest, etc. And then he had weather navigation, which I'm assuming. Oh, he's also replacing the Wonders of Life. I don't know if we said that.
I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. So I'm assuming this Storm Riders thing would be going where Body Wars goes now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's kind of a simulator attraction.
It is.
And then he has restaurants, and then he has the Mother Nature Observatory, which is pretty cool. It goes into space and astronomy. It's like a planetarium.
Yeah, it's really nice. I really like the kind of like edutainment vibe that you get off of it, while still kind of being epic in its own way, with like all the different, with like all the different geomes and all the different kind of locations that you can go to within it. I think he did a really good job.
Yeah, this was really impressive. And
I think by far this is the standout out of the 4 projects that we're going to start with.
Definitely in creativity. This is a really good one.
Sure.
All
okay,
right.
So next we get to MC Paradox with his Wilderness Retreat, which turned out to be a sneak preview of the next project. How about that?
That was pretty funny. He did the exact same thing that we were going to do next. I was looking at that and I was like, really? You did Discovery Island?
I mean, to be fair, Discovery Island does very much fit the criteria of an unused piece of Disney property, so there you go.
Yeah, no. It was funny because he chose the exact same thing that we were doing next.
Right. Oh, God. Okay, so
go ahead. You can do this one if you want.
Well, to me, I don't really I did a podcast on Discovery Island with England, and that's actually one of my favorite podcasts that I've done about the Creator Games profile so far, because we got into a lot of just the idea of like a half a day park and what that can kind of entail for Disney. Yeah. Let me ask you this though. To me, it kind of feels like there's not really a ton of difference here between what was on Discovery Island previously and then what he did.
Yeah, I think he takes the. I like how he goes back in history, because it actually was named Riles Island beforehand. This was like an island that I think you guys even touched on this in your podcast. Mm-hmm. This wasn't a man-made thing. This was already in Bay Lake. Disney only built the Seven Seas Lagoon. Bay Lake was already there.
Right.
So he kind of took it back to the original zoological park type feel that Discovery Island was. He did a pretty good job with it, though. I did like the one thing I liked especially was that balloon ride that he had.
Yeah, that's absolutely my favorite thing, yeah.
And I liked the concept art for it, too. That was pretty cool.
Of course. I mean, with MC Paradox, it's kind of like, it's his weapon, even when he has a concept that's not the greatest, and I'm not saying this is bad by any means.
Oh, no,
but,
no.
But he can just up the value and the equity of his project just with the concept art. And he is a dangerous player for that reason.
Yeah, I definitely think that when you look at it and you review it, the concept art really stands out and makes, like you were saying, even if the idea itself is still good, but maybe not the best idea, the concept art pushes it over the edge.
Right.
And I think that's a really dangerous attribute to have in a competition.
All right, so I don't have a ton to say about this. I kind of like how he uses the up IP, but only in a very, very subtle way.
Yeah, it doesn't take over the whole island.
Exactly, which is really nice, because he could have totally turned this into just, it's Paradise Falls.
Oh yeah, no. He makes it very it's a very subtle inclusion.
Right,
which is good.
So yeah, I like it overall. Very good.
It was a pretty good project.
Okay. All right, so next we get to 2000. For some reason, I'm always calling him 2010 Disney Life. I'm sorry, 2001 Disney Life. So yeah, this is kind of an ill-fated project from the get-go, because right from the beginning you said this was done on my phone, so formatting and grammar is probably bad.
Yeah, I felt
not a good vote of confidence for your own material.
I felt bad because he was a competitor that was very excited to join.
You're right. No, he is, and he was really the first person that we lost that was very much like, man, really?
Yeah, and it's really at that point it was just because the other players were so strong, and I wish he had more time to to flesh out his ideas because I think he could have been a really good player going forward.
Yeah, I think out of the people that have been eliminated so far, even going up to
Even to
to the
session
final.
four, yeah,
Yeah, I'd say he's definitely the one where he'd have the most potential if he came back into it,
yeah.
if he got a second chance.
If he does more competitions going forward, I can see him doing well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
But
just
so I know basically next to nothing about the Odyssey. So do you want to catch me
it
up with
used
that?
it's so if you're looking at an aerial shot of Epcot, you have
Okay.
Test Track on Future World East, and right next to it is the Odyssey. It's closer. It's in between Mexico and Test Track,
Okay.
and it used to be a restaurant that was open, and then they closed it, and now it's like a convention center. It was open for the World Cup, when so people could watch the World Cup in there. It's open for special events, I think too. So I really liked the location that he did because that's a location that if you ever walk from Mexico and you want to take a shortcut kind of to Test Track, it just is just nothing there. It's useless. It's just it's basically you're walking through nothing, no theme, no
Okay,
anything.
so it's
So
essentially like a California Adventure. There's just that wasteland where there's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Hollywood and Dine. These two
yes,
huge
yep,
like
that's
warehouse type buildings that are just vacant.
pretty much just like that. And I can yeah yeah. So I really liked the location. And yeah, he was he's doing a restaurant here, so I think that
Yeah.
that's definitely a good decision to make. The only thing is, I just wish he had more time because obviously there's not really too much to say.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a shame because I really feel like he got screwed over just based on like the fact that he had to do this on his phone.
yeah, if he was at home and had a couple hours to spare, I
Right,
think it could have been a
exactly.
lot better. And maybe he could have been one of them who actually made it into the next round. You never know.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I don't
he
want to
was
speculate
like
now,
we
but
said, out of all the people that have been eliminated so far, I'd say this is the guy who really showed the most potential. And I don't really have much to say about his overall project, though, other than the fact that it's a shame he didn't get more time to work on it. Right?
yeah, I basically agree. I like the location, just wish he had more time.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Now we get to a somewhat odd project.
it's a
Scorpion
Scorpion
X,
X. Yeah.
the Galactic Cabaret. Oh
Uh,
yeah. Well, he was definitely the most original.
this was original. I was just I mean the project itself is pretty good. It was
Yeah.
just I was when I first read it I was like, is this in Disney World or Disneyland? Because I think this is supposed to be in Disneyland.
Okay, let me see. Well,
Because the Galactic wherever he's the Tomorrowland there is no Tomorrowland Theater in Disney World. It's the Galaxy Palace Theater. So if that's what he was referring
there's no
to, then
Tomorrowland Theater in Disneyland either. There's a
oh okay,
Tomorrowland
then
Terrace, which he might be thinking
yeah,
of.
there's a Tomorrowland Terrace in Disneyland or Disney World too.
Okay, so I'm assuming he's thinking of Tomorrowland Terrace then.
I'm assuming on first read, I thought he was doing the Galaxy Palace Theater, which is a
Oh,
theater next to the Carousel of Progress in Disney World. It's kind of been unused for a while, so that's what I first. But this looks much bigger than what that area is. His
oh
concept art
yeah,
is huge.
yeah, for sure.
That's
That's a
I.
problem.
So that was where I think right off the bat, I was just all of us were just questioning where it was. But other than that, I mean, the project itself, like you said, is original. I mean, he makes up his own character. It's based off of Plectu's fantastic intergalactic review concept for Disneyland, which I had never heard of. I had to look it up.
I've never heard of that either.
Yeah, so he's definitely um,
Although
definitely being original.
I do recognize that concept art though. I don't know. Maybe if I asked my friend Cole Younger, he could tell me something because he's actually like his job is kind of to compile uh, compile like old ideas from Imagineering past.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically an Imagineering archivist.
Ah, okay.
Which is, I think, pretty badass. But yeah, I'll have to ask him about that.
Okay, yeah, do that. Because that was one thing I think that maybe put it down a notch was that
essentially what it sounds like Country Bears or Tiki Room just for Tomorrowland.
Yeah, I mean he's got all these characters with he's got a comedic trio and Darf, Narf, and Barf.
A little on the nose.
Sounds pretty funny. I mean the whole
Dr.
thing. Dr.
Doodad and his duds.
Yeah. I think we even put in the reviews that it would be pretty cool to see this in reality. I just would wonder where it is.
I would wonder where it is, and I also wonder what audience it's going for, and I think that is maybe the okay, like for example, like Ulysses the Great, an alien trainer who kidnaps humans and makes them do silly tricks like seals. I don't know. To me, that's kind of like too dark for Disney in a way.
Yeah, I agree. I don't
like. There's some elements of this where I'm just like, I'll just kind of have to do a double take and be like, wait, what? That's kind of on the dark side, man. Like that's something I'd more expect to see at like, Universal Halloween Horror Nights or something like that.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
I mean, I understand it's being played in a comedic fashion, but still.
Yeah, it's more like what's that called? Dark comedy or whatever.
Dark comedy is one way to put it, sure.
Yeah. Oh well, so I guess there's nothing really too much more to say about it. It was a unique concept.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can't call it original because it was based off of something, but it's definitely a unique concept. Definitely was not expecting. I don't think anyone.
And Scorpion X, he did run the gambit in So You Want to Be an Imagineer season 12 to get to the final 3. So I give him a lot of credit when he does, when he does want to come out and really put a lot of effort, he can. And I think it's just a shame that he got paired up with Paradox and C-Tax, who are both just like among the front runner competitors here. I think if you would have gotten paired up with like say Infinite and T-Cool, I think both him and 2001 could have maybe gotten moved forward.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. I think, like you said, the competition of the 4 people individuals. When 2 are eliminated, it's really tough when the first 2 put out such great.
Exactly. Right. It's kind of like no matter what you do, it's like
I mean, you basically have to create an entire e-take at that point.
Right. Okay. So let's move on to.
I guess we can just do the final. So we can just say that C-Tax and MC Paradox moved on after that session, and unfortunately, 2001 and Scorpion were eliminated after that. So then we were down to 14 contestants moving on.
And then session 3 happens, an Island of Discovery.
Yes.
Now, before we get into my team's project, you want to tell us a little bit about some of the concepts that the other team had going on?
Yeah, so I guess we can get into. So for those that are just following for the first time or don't remember, the 2 teams' names were Team Treasure and Team Discovery. You guys were Team Treasure, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so Team Discovery, unfortunately, couldn't put out a project in time for the due date, and it was because they were kind of given a bad hand in the respect that a lot of their contestants on the team weren't as involved as much and weren't as active. So they were basically going 3 or 4 on 7 the whole time, which already puts you at an unfair advantage because, everyone has personal lives and stuff and things to do, so they can't be active all the time. So the one thing that your team did well is that you guys split up your activities pretty much even across the board.
That's what you always have to do with something like that, man. That's like a sound strategy. Yeah, you have to split up the workload.
Whereas for the other team, it was basically 3 people going back and forth about their ideas, and they never were able to get anything written down. And that was where they ran into trouble.
I'm going to just go ahead and give some of these newer players like some notes to take if you're listening. So especially when working in team projects, like you have to do everything you can to come to a consensus. It doesn't matter what you want to do. It doesn't matter if you think that what the other team wants to do or what the other people want to do, you think is stupid. What matters is nailing down that concept and having it there so that you can move forward with it. That is the most crucial and important thing that you could possibly do. So, so basically what I'm trying to say is just go with it. Just go with the flow, and even if you don't like the concept, just do it. Because trust me, with more time to develop ideas, it's going to make for a stronger product.
Yeah, that was well said. When you're in a team, just know that you're going to have your specific idea will probably get edited and morphed into a team idea. And you just got to be flexible, but you also have to be active too. And I think maybe going forward, we might implement something where if we do any more team concepts, that all the team members have to, I don't know, I guess have to like post actively.
I mean, that can be a tricky thing because I do remember the Soul Imagineer, they did like a rule where you had to post at least once a day, and I don't really think anyone stuck to that.
Okay. So yeah, I wasn't involved in the PMs of that, but yeah, that was just something that we thought of. I don't know if it's going to come to fruition or not. Maybe we'll just stick with the same format because the contestants that are now, as we'll get to, have been pretty active throughout the whole thing. So we have that going forward.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, yeah, that was basically it for their project.
Okay, so in terms of Team Treasure's project, I mean, just first of all, overall, Team Treasure was awesome to work with, and we just steamrolled over everything, and that's always fun. It's always fun to see other people cry and get voted out and be miserable while we're steamrolling and just having. No, I'm sorry, I'm being a deliberate douchebag right now. That's just my survivor showmanship showing. Okay, but but in all seriousness, Team Treasure was an awesome group of 7 people, and every single one of those people did a good job throughout all the projects. So, I guess with my thing, this was actually very, very based on something that happened at So You Want to Be an Imagineer, where the final project of season 6 was to design basically anything that you wanted to go into the strawberry fields across from Catalina Avenue, which is about like 3 or 4 blocks from Disneyland. And so this one guy who ended up winning, PL7764, he does basically an outdoor wilderness adventure park, and he has like a man-made mountain and everything like that. So I took a lot of those ideas and kind of implemented them here. And yeah, and it's not like I completely ripped them off, because obviously we made it our own thing. We gave it a mythology and everything like that. The one thing I don't necessarily think translated well was that we had this cool idea that the island would basically be like centered on geysers. Okay. And that would lead to a lot of the backstory, and I don't think we translated that element too well. But overall,
was that supposed to be part of the backstory behind it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think you guys.
The geysers were supposed to play way more of a role in the overall design and the overall, like they were kind of supposed to be the centerpiece of the whole thing in a way.
Okay.
So for some reason that kind of got lost in translation, but overall it was. I feel like this is a very strong contribution that we gave. What do you think?
Yeah, this was. I mean, even if Team Discovery had put a proposal out, this one would have been tough to beat. Because you guys pretty much had everything. You guys had concept. You had 3 or 4 pictures of concept art.
Well, we were lucky to have MC Paradox on that team. I'll put it that way for sure.
Yeah, but you guys had to come up with the idea. I even like this first picture he did. He has the contemporary in the background too. Did you even notice that?
Oh, what? No, I actually. That's just a Google image that I pulled.
Oh, no, the one down from that he drew. He's got
Oh,
the
holy
even
shit! Yeah, you're right. He does have the
he's got the
contemporary.
contemporary
Oh
background,
wow, that's
and he's
some
got
detail, man.
yeah, that's pretty good. I didn't even notice that on first pass
No, I
either.
didn't notice that at all
Yeah,
until you pointed it out.
I was just looking at that the second time, and I was like, wow,
Oh
that's pretty
wow.
good. Yeah, so this was so you guys kind of did like an outdoor retreat or
Yeah, an
outdoor.
outdoor wilderness adventure park. We have
Yeah,
the we had rock climbing, cave exploration, zip lining.
and I
Uh,
like how you did it. You kind of incorporated Wilderness Lodge into it too, the
yeah, in
Pacific
a way,
Northwest,
for sure, for sure.
which kind of makes sense because the Wilderness Lodge. I mean, you can do a whole podcast on the story behind the Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah, we
It has
could, we could.
a really rich backstory and um, how you tied into even made up your own character Ezekiel
That
Othello.
is all on Disney Princess. I will give her all the
Oh,
credit when
okay,
it
that's
comes to
pretty good
that.
then.
Yeah,
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 because I think
yeah. She was the one that was into the backstory thing for sure.
ah, because I think even Ezekiel or did you guys use the same name? I'm not too sure. I know the Wilderness Lodge backstory is about some guy um, similar to that name, I guess,
Oh,
going to Silver Creek Springs, and there's a whole backstory behind that. And he's going to the Pacific Northwest, so you guys did a really good job incorporating that type of
we should
environment.
have had Gravity Falls in there. Nobody wanted to do it, but we should have had it. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I mean, I love Gravity Falls and Pacific Northwest and everything like that, but I was tempted.
that
I was
that would have been
tempted.
a really big taking up the whole island.
What do you mean?
The Gravity Falls.
What do you
You
mean it
mean
would
like the
take?
waterfall?
No,
Oh,
no,
I'm,
no, no,
I'm thinking
no.
of
Gravity Falls is Gravity
Paradise
Falls.
Falls.
Gravity
My
Falls
bad.
is a TV show.
No, I'm thinking of Paradise Falls
Yeah,
from
it's
Up.
it's an animated TV show done by Disney, set in Oregon, has all kinds
Oh,
of
okay.
creepy, spooky stories and stuff.
I was thinking of the waterfall and Up.
No,
I was like, why would you put that there? Then
no. The
never
reason
mind.
why Gravity Falls is called Gravity Falls is because gravity literally does fall in Gravity Falls.
Oh, well, that's very to the
Figure
point.
that one out.
They're very specific on that.
Yes, yes, they are.
But yeah, going back to your thing, you guys have. I liked how you guys incorporated how you get to the island too. You
Oh
guys
yeah, that
did,
was a big part of it for
and I
sure.
like how the boats were similar to the existing. Said reminiscent of the boats found on the world famous Jungle Cruise or the existing steamboat ferrying
Hmm.
guests. Okay, so basically you just added another piece to that route,
Indeed.
I guess.
And
Um,
basically, our whole goal with that was just to have it be like, okay, before you even get to the island, here's an experience. Here is like the opening scene, if you will.
yeah, and that's something that that's kind of what the Magic Kingdom does too. If you take the monorail, that's kind of like the opening act is uh, kind of once you park at the ticket and transportation center going to the Magic Kingdom. So I like how you guys incorporated that. Epcot the same way too,
Sure, sure.
going on the monorail. But yeah, I like your activities. You got wilderness hiking trails, cave exploration. That's pretty cool. That kind of reminds me of Tom Sawyer Island.
It was basically
Um,
meant to be like a souped up kind of Tom Sawyer Island on steroids sort of thing.
yeah, which was funny because the aspect of Imagineering challenge that nobody did was Tom Sawyer
I
Island.
wanted to do one, man. You just put it so close to the
Yeah, you
due
know what?
date.
It was
I
like a
had a
last minute.
conversation with IDI about this.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that was we put it. I think it was due at the same time as this
Yeah,
challenge.
and that was poorly conceived because basically everyone was going to be busy doing, stuff on this challenge.
That's true. Yeah. So
So,
for the future ones, we'll put it a little couple days. I
I
mean,
mean, I understand what you were trying to do in terms of like, oh, like, is someone going to step out and, like, not help the team. But no, in the grand scheme of things, you have to help the team.
Yeah, because if you don't win the concept creation, it doesn't really matter
Exactly.
at that point.
Exactly. Right.
Because you don't know what kind of reward you're going to get for the aspect.
Although I
the
am
AOI.
curious about what that lost power is.
Yeah, we might include it in another one. We just might add on an extra one, but we'll see. It was funny because we weren't even supposed to have one of those for this. That might be why it was later. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But because we added on to the roster, we kind of had to switch up the first few challenges because we were overloaded with people.
That's very true. Very true.
That was kind of like a thing where when we posted the Discover Bar, we were like, let's do Tom Sawyer on him too. So it was kind of like a spur of the moment thing.
Okay, and then we lose Vipra here, and Vipra, I must say, was definitely like my biggest personal threat in all of the Soul Imagineer, in terms of like the guy that I really wanted to get out throughout basically the whole game, and I never could get out. He eventually got to third place. He was a huge character there. And yeah, I mean, not much to say, I mean, I'm certainly not going to fault him for falling victim to just a busy personal schedule. That's not his fault at all.
No, and I definitely appreciate how he came and told us too. Because he came personally to us in a PM and said, basically, like, I couldn't compete in session 3 at all. He goes, I'm sorry that work has gotten over me, and just do what you have to do. And it worked out because if he didn't do that, then someone would have been. We would have had to do another sudden. Yeah. Oh, that's why we did that. Now I remember. So originally it was going to be another sudden death challenge after this session 3.
Okay.
Because whoever the losing team was would have to vote, or
have to vote 2 people into the sudden death.
Into a sudden death challenge.
Okay.
So then he could have continued on, even being busy, and then another person could have been eliminated who was a more active player.
Right.
I appreciate that he did that, and that's why. Because then we took out the sudden death challenge and had a extra time. So we were like, why don't we throw in that AOI challenge? That's why we did that, I think.
Again, I agree. If I wasn't sick, like, I'm still pretty sick, but if I wasn't like really sick last weekend, I probably would have done it.
We're wondering, maybe, because you never know, maybe someone will step out or has some free time and
I really wanted to, and in fact, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but then I was like, shit, I'm like 15 minutes too late.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, there'll be a couple more of those,
yeah.
So you got plenty of time to do that.
Because I am definitely intrigued by the poison apple twist. I am intrigued to see how that's going to play out.
And I'm curious when he's going to use it too.
Oh yeah.
I'm assuming he's saving that till the end.
Oh, I'm assuming, yeah. If he's smart, he'll save that until like the final 7 or something.
But the one thing that he has to do is he has to announce that he's using it 12 hours into the session. So if he gets eliminated from one of the sessions, he can't use it because he's already done. So it's tricky.
Would he, if he was eliminated, would he be allowed to pass it off to someone else? You should do that.
Oh yeah, well, I'll talk to. So we'll see. We'll see what he wants to do after. We didn't even think of that at this point.
Right.
But yeah, that would be interesting.
Okay, so do you want to get into the sudden death challenges?
Sure. So that would.
Right. Now, what was your thought process on doing the structure this way? Do you want to kind of just quickly explain for those listening who might not be following along, like what the structure of these next couple rounds were?
Sure. So this was all one. So for anyone catching up with how the competition works, there are 3 types of challenges. There are concept creation challenges, which are usually the big challenges in each session. There are aspects of Imagineering or AOI challenges, which are reward challenges, and they're optional. And then there's sudden death challenges, where at the end of it, someone's going to get eliminated, or multiple people will get eliminated. So for this one, it's kind of a twist on the sudden death challenge because in this session we had, actually I can go back, originally what we wanted to do for this was each of the 3 sudden death challenges would eliminate 1 person per round. And then we kind of morphed it and said, why don't we just why don't we have 2 sudden death challenges with the same teams that we did in session 3, and based on who wins or loses those, that's who plays in the sudden death challenge 3.
Okay.
So that's kind of how we morphed it together, and that all had to do with how we expanded the roster and everything. So anyway, yeah, so...
And I really like the structure of how it's like if a team was able to win both of the projects, then the whole team would have had to compete in sudden death. Yeah, or if they both won a single challenge, then they both have to vote 2 people into it.
Yes. So
that could have been really...
Yeah, it would have been interesting. We were trying to mix it up a little bit. We were trying to avoid having, like, the other team vote the other team out, just because that's kind of similar to other competitions. Not that that's a bad thing, but we just wanted to be a little bit different. So we wanted to vote internally. So let's say there are 2 people who just never did anything. Well, everyone's probably going to, and you lost the challenge, everyone's probably going to gang up on those 2 people and be like, yo, you didn't do anything.
That's probably what would have happened, yeah.
But it would have been interesting for your team, because your team pretty much had everyone participating.
Yeah, we steamrolled for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, we can get into... So you basically just explained it there. There were 2 sudden death challenges that would impact who played in the 3rd sudden death challenge. So if your team or the other team won both of them, then the team who lost both of them would all play in the 3rd sudden death challenge. And if you split, you won 1, lost 1, each team votes in 2 members. So either way, we wanted to have 2 eliminated, but we'll get to that later on, why we eliminated 1 more. So yeah, that's basically how that was going to work.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The first project was to design a clone of Journey to the Center of the Earth, but make it kind of unique to the park. And I really like this idea. So let's get into it with Team Discovery. They did they had both of them were in Animal Kingdom, which isn't really that surprising. And then they had theirs right above Asia, whereas we took the plot of land that was right kind of by Dino Land.
Yes.
So basically, I think these guys concentrated on sort of the wildlife element of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is fine. I think their big problem is that there is not much detail to this project at all.
That was the big turning point here. Was, I guess, not really a turning point, but a big deciding point for the judges.
I mean, the opening couple paragraphs are really good. You know, I like how it kind of draws you into like, oh yeah, you know, it's going to be a very very kind of green location, and I really like the pictures that they're using. But then, and I really like that picture of the underwater dinosaur that they have. That just gets me excited for Jurassic World, which is coming out in like 2 weeks, and I'm stoked. But then, yeah, where the project just falls flat on its face is here's a short scene layout for the attraction.
Yeah, and
it's like, no, guys, you don't do it like that. You have to do it where it's like you have to write it. You know,
yeah,
it's like this is an outline. This is like turning in an outline and saying like, okay, here's the novel.
Yeah, and I guess to their own, it's kind of the same thing that happened in session 3, where some of the members were active and some of them just weren't, and it definitely shows. Because, I mean, in 48 hours, you can only get so much done if you're only 3 people.
Of course.
I mean, they were already down 1 player because Viper had been eliminated. So they already had 6, and if you only have 3 people active, then it's really tough.
Yeah, that's understandable. That's understandable. Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like myself, Jokers, MC Paradox, like we were kind of the 3 driving forces behind. I mean, not to say that the other 3 people didn't do anything, certainly not, But I would definitely say that we were the primary three people that kind of got that project together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, every team is going to have like most active
Sure,
players, but
sure.
it helps when other players are at least supportive and at least giving some idea to it,
Exactly.
even if other people take control. But I think the one thing that, other than the fact that it was kind of just an outline, was one of the instructions which you guys actually did. I don't know whether you guys did it out of luck or not, but we had said to include like a aerial image of where you're putting the attraction
No,
so
no, no.
that.
I'm pretty sure we did that intentionally. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we knew what was up. We knew what was up.
Oh, good, good, good. So you guys did that,
Yeah.
and that was the one thing they didn't include a map.
Uh,
So that was another thing that kind of just put it down a notch. Aside from
so,
your overall quality, I would say was better and
oh yeah, oh
much more
yeah,
detailed.
much more detailed for sure.
That was just another thing that added
Mhm.
to it. Um,
So this was definitely Joker's kind of pet project for the season because anything Jules Verne, he's just going to go nuts with. That's just him in a nutshell.
yeah,
So he definitely took center stage with this, and I think he did some really, really good things. I think it was actually kind of inspired to not have Nemo in this because I feel like Nemo is being used as a little bit of a crutch of like, hey, we need a science fiction scientist. Look out to Nemo. And Nemo he had nothing to do with the original source material. So
right. It was. I think you guys even included the original source material.
we did, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which was really good.
Mhm.
Oh,
I will
Otto
tell you the
Lindenbrock.
thing though. I will tell you the thing that absolutely freaking caused a tidal wave of chaos towards the remaining few hours. Okay,
Okay,
I don't
sure.
know if you were following that thread that closely, but Orlando and Paradox came up with the idea to use the elevator shaft, right?
Yeah, that was one thing. I think we even put it in the review where, not that it's a bad idea, I just didn't know how that worked or
Okay,
where it
well, it's
fit.
funny because like we were all set to go. We had all our plans, and we were gonna just take whatever time was left at the day of the turn-in date to just get everything together. But
Yeah,
then those two introduced this new system into it, and it would have been a situation where I feel like because I don't think Disney Princess was really on board with the elevator idea either. She kept on saying like, "Well, this doesn't really make sense." So the one thing that killed it though was the fact that MC Paradox already had concept art, and
okay.
so
So
it's
you
like
guys,
we're like shit, like
I mean,
we
that's a
can't
pretty,
just change it now.
it's a pretty cool picture, and I
Oh, it's
mean,
a great picture, yeah, like
once you have
everything
that
else
picture,
he
you
does, yeah,
kind of have
yeah.
to just use it,
Exactly, exactly. So
even if
that's
there's
that's
some
kind of the
discrepancies.
situation we were in. To tell you the truth, man, I don't even know if like this was definitely the project I contributed the least to. I don't even
Okay.
know if any of my scenes actually got in there because people were writing scenes and then rewriting scenes, and it was chaos. It was chaos at
But
the end.
that's good. That's good chaos, though. At least you have a lot of substance.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
Yeah.
right because we had by the end like Disney Princess was really jumping in there and contributing a lot of ideas yeah, and it's ironic because I'm not gonna like fault Orlando and MC Paradox because I do think the elevator's a good idea. And you know what? If we would have had like 3 more days to work in how the elevator would have been in the actual attraction, it would have been great. Would have been perfect. But instead, it's like it's still a total blowout. So it's not really that big of a deal either
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
But I do think it's funny that was like, I can't even tell you how much that got under Joker's skin. And that was like the one thing that you guys criticized,
Yeah,
essentially.
that was the one thing I picked up at the end. Was I was like, why is there a picture of Tower of Terror at the end? And then
Right,
I
right.
I was like, that's the last image. That's like the last image that I saw, and I was like,
Yeah, not
all
very
right,
good image editing right there.
yeah. So
Not
I think the
not very
one
good
thing,
flow.
if you guys, yeah, I think if you guys had a couple more days to fine tune the why the elevator is there, because when I was looking at it, I was like, don't you need seat belts if you're going up and down? and you guys don't.
Right,
The
right.
car, everyone's going to be flying out of the car if they go up and down. They only have a bar. And I'm looking at the
Yeah,
concept
yeah,
art here.
you hit it right. I definitely think it was a good idea. I definitely think if we had more time, it would have really worked, but we just didn't have the time to fully develop it.
Yeah, and that was such a small part. It was like a nitpick, really, because
Exactly,
the rest of the attraction was just blew it out of the water.
exactly.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it.
All right, so now we get to the transportation-based projects.
Yes.
This was actually kind of reminded me of the first WDW Magic project I ever recapped, which was the first round of last year's Elite Eight, where they had to redo the transportation center. So it was kind of a flashback for me. That was kind of cool.
Oh,
Uh,
that's great. Yeah.
so
I didn't
essentially,
think of that.
I basically what I did here is I was kind of like the team manager in terms of like I was making sure that everyone was was turning in stuff, making sure everything was kind of going on schedule. I never wrote out anything, but I did compile the final post, and I did, pull the pictures and everything. I broke up the sentences. I made absolutely sure that we didn't go over the sentence limit, which was a big concern. And overall, I think this is it's not like the nature of this project in general is not going to lead to the flashiest projects of the season.
No,
But
no.
but I do think that we did some really good ideas here.
Yeah, and you guys picked. I think each team picked a different option.
Right, right.
So Team
It was like
Discovery
the
picked.
opposite of like, hey, you guys can use any Warner Brothers property that you want, and then both teams pick Pokemon.
Yeah, I think so. Option A was to you can expand the monorail track
Yeah.
by 7.5 miles of track, which is about the current length is I think 14.7,
Uh
something
huh.
around there. So this is about half of that, roughly, a little bit over. But the goal was to create the optimum expansion using that amount of track. And then the option that you picked, option B, was to basically refurbish the transportation system. You can refurbish monorails, buses, ferries, and the routes that they take, etc., just to
Right.
make it a more cohesive and uh, better system
And
overall.
that's essentially what we did. We didn't do anything too flashy. We didn't do anything unrealistic. We just did
Yeah,
just
really.
general upgrades. And I feel like it's a very non-flashy, but also very well put together project as a whole.
Yeah, I agree. And I think everyone, when we all looked at it, we definitely thought it was very well done. It got right to the point. You
Hmm.
did what you had to do. Everyone worked together, and I think this one definitely everyone worked on.
Oh
Um,
yeah, for sure, for sure.
I mean, you compiled the final edit and
Yeah,
stuff,
I did
so
the
you probably
final
did it.
edits. That was my contribution. Yeah,
But it seemed like everyone was. You guys were on a roll at that point. I mean, you just
we
won
were, we
two,
were, we pretty much knew we had it in the bag at this point. I'm not gonna lie.
and you guys were rolling in with all sorts of confidence. So you guys.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember the first page of the thread was like, all right, you guys are doing this, 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 this. I mean, you guys came up with the concept in
exactly,
like an hour.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What challenge you were gonna do, A or B, and then you just got rolling
That
from
was
there.
like not even a decision. We all just unanimously were like, okay, we're gonna do this
Yeah, you're just
because it
gonna do that.
offers more potential.
Yeah, and that kind of contrasted the other team where again they were just faulted by
Oh no,
people.
were they kind of going back and forth deciding what to do?
Well, when you only have what they wanted to do, which I give them credit, they stuck with it. They didn't get down on themselves,
Uh,
and they were still hoping and expecting for participation from members that we'll get to later
right,
on.
right, right.
So they were leaving it open, like, all right, what do you want to do? And then nobody would respond. So they
Yeah, that's a
basically,
problem.
the
Yeah.
three who were most active basically said, all right, we're just going to do this because it's the easiest and it's the quickest. Um, or at least the easiest to come up with, not the easiest concept, because both of them are pretty even. It's just the one that they could do by themselves.
Sure, sure.
Um, so yeah, I mean, they put out a pretty decent project too. I guess to go over both of them, uh, the one
It's
thing
decent. I think it ends rather abruptly.
yeah, there's also 2 posts too, which was weird.
Hello?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hello?
I totally forgot about that.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
I've been
Oh,
on
it's
here for
Sam.
I've been on here for
Holy
like
shit.
40 minutes. Like I've been on this for a really long time.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, like I've legit been present on this conversation for
You've
like
been physically present.
yes, I've been physically, yeah.
And why
Like I
why
joined
haven't
this
you
conversation
said
30 minutes ago.
wow. Wow.
And
Okay, you see we both have you know the projects like
Yeah, I'm
pulled
looking
up
at
on our
the
screen
I'm looking
right
at the
now.
page.
okay, sorry about that. Because I've been here like looking at you guys and like holding up notes and being like, "Hey,
Has that
Oh
been
my
showing
God.
up on the live feed?
Oh yeah.
I
Oh.
I messaged you guys."
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah, it's okay. So what conversation are we on now? I kind of got a bit lost.
Wow, I'm sorry, you kind of blindsided me there.
Yeah, so I'm really sorry about that.
No, it's all good. We are on team discoveries.
Challenge 2 Team
Yeah.
Discovery. For
Team
session
Discovery. Okay, let me pull it up just so I'm looking at it with you guys.
It is on page
12, I think, or 13.
12?
14.
14. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, why is the main thread down?
Oh dear.
I can't. Oh, nope, I'm just blind. Sorry about that, guys. Greatly apologize for this.
Yeah, that's all good.
This has kind of been my style all season. I pop in when no one expects.
Yeah, and you're literally like a stealth ninja about it too.
Yeah, I know, right? I was I was planning on doing the show last night, but you had some problems.
Yeah, last night probably wouldn't have been the best for me.
Yeah,
I crashed out.
night
I
wasn't the
crashed
best.
out pretty good.
And then I
after,
came on to like start everything and to post a link to a hangout. And you guys were already on, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll go join that one. And then I joined, and for some reason my microphone and my video, like, it wasn't working, and it was
yeah, so you were trying to say stuff, but it just wasn't coming out?
Yeah, I was trying to say stuff, but it wasn't showing up. It was really weird.
Okay, well, we have it all sorted out now.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so
page 14.
Page 14.
Yeah, 14.
14.
Indeed.
I was just on page 12. Sorry. If you guys want to like continue, I don't want to hold you guys up longer. I guess I'll just jump in with like when the time's right, on my opinions on the team. If you guys want to continue, like what y'all were saying.
We're pretty much. I guess we were just going over the final.
Yeah, I mean we're pretty much done. But yeah, it is kind of this team did not have it together really in the sense that 2 people submitted 2 different projects.
I think they were part of the same project, but I don't think they knew that the other one was posted.
Oh wait, no, it's the exact same text except the one that JDM posted isn't as well formatted as the other one.
I think one person posted it and then didn't know the other person was also posted.
Right. Okay.
I think that was basically it.
Is this the monorail expansion?
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay. And we're talking about Team Discovery.
Team Discovery.
Yes.
And that includes JDM. JDM was the main poster, correct? JDM and
Matt.
Yeah.
I would look at Matt's post as the main one.
Okay, because I'm seeing the little thing that JDM has.
It's essentially the same text. It just doesn't have the pictures.
Yeah. It appears that this team was rather divided on who should be posting or who shouldn't.
Yeah.
But other than that,
that is
merits of what
that you should decide on pretty soon into the process. It's like, okay, who's going to be actually posting this, guys?
Exactly.
Yeah, that was the one thing that you guys did well, was you always knew who was going to post it, who was going to contribute what.
Yeah, I can see how that was a definite problem for this group. But on the actual merits of what they posted, it's a bit too short on text for my liking. There's not enough description.
There was a maximum text limit, though.
That was the maximum?
That's true.
Yeah, it was like 10 or 15 sentences.
I didn't even consider that.
Okay.
I didn't even consider it. It was 10 sentences.
Had I been in this team, I would have advocated for there to be a better usage of the sentences. Because it just seems a bit bare. Maybe having a line or a few sentences after every picture, just so it seems a bit more full.
I mean, that's what we did. Yeah, we definitely, like, the way I structured it was definitely like, okay, like a block of text and then a picture.
Exactly. It was organized a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
They could have found a few more loopholes with the sentences just to put in some more information. Always look for loopholes in these contests when you have text limitations or picture limitations. I know that one of the things that some of my teams have done in the past, when there's a picture limitation, we make a collage.
There you go.
So you can fit in a lot of visual art. Yeah. So find those loopholes, but the actual merits. I like what they did.
It's just kind of bare bones.
Yeah, it seems bare bones, and then of course you have the double post, which just makes them look unorganized. And of course,
right.
This team has had problems this entire session.
Of course.
So, and you look at Team Treasure's proposal, much stronger. And just all around good. And I love Team Treasure's monorail.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And it's beautiful.
Okay.
But overall, so I think that Team Treasure deserved the win. So
we did work our asses off to get to the point where we were, where we just steamrolled over 3 challenges in a row.
Yeah, you guys took the week that was session 3. I think you guys had pretty much a week for that, maybe a little bit less. And you guys really ironed out the kinks to where
big time.
By the time you got to session 4, it was just like you're gonna win.
Right.
Yeah, I would completely agree with what Space Mountain said there. Yeah, Team Treasure is definitely the strongest team in this session. So next we have Project 2 or Project.
We have Sudden Death
Challenge 3.
The final Sudden Death Challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was just Team Discovery. Correct.
Yeah. So what happened was. Oh, go ahead, Tiki.
Oh, I was going to say just the 6 members of Team Discovery minus Vipra.
Because they lost both. They lost both seasons. Or both challenges. I apologize for that.
Right.
And the challenge for them was to design a queue for the upcoming Animal Kingdom Avatar Land. And
yes, the Soarin' over California.
Lounge, Space Mountain pulled up some awesome graphics that we eventually.
I took it just from the site. You just go to the Avatar thread and they have all this stuff there.
Okay.
Now I'm just gonna say it. Me and Jokers, we absolutely hate Soarin'.
Oh, I like Soarin'.
We hate everything about Soarin'. We think it's a very poorly conceived attraction.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a very interesting attraction.
There's
That's just me.
I think you could use an update.
The primary flaw with Soarin' is the walls in the theater.
Oh,
because
so you mean the screen doesn't wrap around?
Exactly. Because if you're in either of the side rows, then you're screwed because you're going to be looking at like half the screen and then half like the walls on either side of the theater.
Yeah.
And it ruins the illusion. It absolutely ruins the illusion.
And also if you sit on the second or third rows, you're like looking at people's feet above you.
That doesn't even bother me as much.
Oh, no, I was gonna say that the one thing we do now is that when we go on the ride, we just go to the cast member who's placing us in the rows and just say, "Can we ask for the front middle?" And then we wait
Yeah, well, that'll
around.
work sometimes, but I've had douchey cast members that haven't done that.
Oh,
So
really? We've had it
yeah,
pretty much every time we've done it. They've been pretty nice and be like, "Yeah,
it's just I don't know. To me, maybe it depends on Florida versus Disneyland. Who knows?
yeah, I don't know."
Okay, but anyways, I think it was a really good idea for you guys to saddle these people with this because it's totally a challenge. You know, it's like all they have to work with is they know what the ride system is going to be and they know what the very basic theme is going to be, and then that's it.
Yeah, so it's use your imagination. This is all just for fun.
Sure.
So that doesn't mean that in 2017 these queues are going to look exactly like these uh, projects, and that doesn't take away anything from the projects.
Mhm.
But
Well,
yeah,
I mean, the point of the project is just to see what people imagine. I think it would be an injustice to the creators to look at them. Is this truly a realistic queue idea or design?
yeah.
But looking at the queues, the first guy who posted was Matt.
Mhm.
And just skimming through his, it seems a bit over the place.
Yeah, I don't really like when it gets to the section where it's like, oh, it's all Indiana Jones and there's like ancient relics and stuff like that. Like I understand it's supposed to be like ancient Pandora relics. I just don't necessarily think it fits all that well.
No.
It's kind of like a clash of two different themes in a way. You know what I mean?
I would completely agree with that. It just
because it's like he literally just has like a Temple of the Forbidden Eye like right in the middle of his queue, and I'm like, what?
I will say
but
though,
he does say it could be compared loosely to the queues of these attractions. So I think the idea that he's trying to give off is, this is kind of an ancient Pandora type of thing. But even then,
that's true. But that's where
I
picking
think that's
the right
just
images come into play.
Yeah.
And it really is kind of like, because Indiana Jones just gives off such a specific vibe that you can't think of anything but Indiana Jones, and Indiana Jones is about, the shitty fourth movie aside, it's about as far away from sci-fi as you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when I had read this one, I think I read this one the most. I read this one like 3 times, just because the pictures to me were throwing me off on first read.
Uh-huh.
If you guys go back and you read it like 2 or 3 more times, I think he could have, number one, he could have used better pictures. If he used more Avatar oriented pictures, it would have helped. But what the pictures were supposed to do, at least how I interpret it, were supposed to give you a sense of what each area was going to sort of look like. Not necessarily, I'm taking Indiana Jones.
No, I mean, I understood what he was going for, but still, like I said, it's like you see the Temple of the Forbidden Eye, and then you just get something in your mind's eye that's very much Indiana Jones.
And that's what happened to me on first read, too, which is why I was like, that doesn't make too much sense.
Yeah.
So then I gave him the benefit
I do enjoy his last picture of James Cameron. Give him the thumbs up.
That is the best picture in the whole.
Isn't that him going? Is that him going down? Didn't he travel to like the bottom of the ocean?
It might. Yeah, it might be
the bottom. He went to the deepest point in the ocean that we can access.
He just did that just for
something like that.
James Cameron is a badass. We'll give him that. I'll tell you the strongest overall thing though. I love the concept of like the trampoline / yoga mat floors.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of simulate the gravity on Pandora. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, I like
in love with that concept.
I also
so no impending lawsuits. It says over Little James. That was pretty funny.
I also like the overall idea of creating like a deeper backstory to Pandora and create.
No, you're right. I do like that overall idea for sure because I think that's the problem with Avatar is that it was a fascinating world. It just happened to have a shit story attached to the movie.
Yeah.
And that's really the shame of Avatar is that it could have been so much better if it wasn't just like, well, I meant to go in and infiltrate the other side, but now I like the other side, so I'm going to fight for the other side.
Yeah. But I think there's like a bit of a dilemma in what Matt's trying to do. He's trying to portray, this is what ancient, Pandora was like. But to me, the film seems as though it takes place in what we would consider ancient Pandora to be. Like our
Does
idea.
It really? I
idea
would consider it.
But our idea of ancient, is people, in.
I mean, that's the thing about the movie is that we don't really know anything. Like Pandora could have been going on for thousands of years.
That's true, but just based on the way that the people are dressed and the way that their civilization
is. Yeah, but keep in mind though, the Na'vi are just one species on this huge planet, though.
True.
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie myself. I saw like a part of it once.
What are you waiting for? It's the greatest movie ever. No, I'm just kidding.
But I do remember it does take place in like 2150, right? Our time.
Our time.
Like that. Yeah.
So maybe I don't know what time. I think he's filming back to back Avatar 2, 3, and 4. So maybe. Maybe.
And I'm actually kind of looking forward to that, especially if it's not just like, okay, this time instead of using Dances of Wolves, I'm going to tell like a Godfather story. And Jake Sully is going to be like the guy who's going to have to inherit the company and whatever.
So maybe Matt saw the movie. I don't know if he saw it or not, but maybe he knows a little bit more of the backstory around Pandora. I think he was just doing. This is just my interpretation too. All the old relics as kind of not necessarily ancient, but otherworldly, because back then it was just a whole other world that we lived in. So maybe it gives that sort of adventurous feel to it. But yeah.
Yeah. So the next project was by JDM.
Yeah, guys, I got to step away for like just a couple minutes. You mind going through this one without me?
Go ahead.
All right, I'll be back. Sorry about that.
Okay, so JDM did. He kind of did focus on the nature and the Na'vi, encouraging people to conserve and protect the environment of Pandora, and kind of just giving guests an opportunity to get up close and personal with the nature and the beauty of the planet. I think this one. I don't know how I feel about this one. I think the whole conservation message seems a bit out of place.
Yeah, I guess it kind of goes along with the movie in a sense, but I think it would have been better if it was more fleshed out, because there was little to no text in this one.
Yeah,
there was no text limit either.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of text, and from what we can see, it seems kind of like be green, protect the environment, and by the way, Pandora is a gorgeous planet.
Yeah, I would have wished he kind of went into what was in the queue, but it would have been better. I think, even to a sense, Matt, even pictures notwithstanding, did a better job of explaining how you're walking through the queue.
Yeah.
Whereas he was like, here's a AA of a Na'vi, and then here's a tree, and then the Tree of Souls, and then thanks for reading. So I feel like it was just, and it was also posted at 7 p.m. exactly, so maybe he was running late on time and just needed to post something.
Yeah, I that's definitely a possibility. But overall, in terms of not really branching off from what we, like, not going into what we don't know about the universe, he stuck to the main story and kind of elaborated the natural beauty of the planet, which, from as far as we know about the land, is really what the land's going to focus on. So then the next person to post after the due date was CTAX98, and his is very descriptive, picture heavy. The pictures are beautiful, and I think out of the three that we've read, he does the best job of describing what the experience is going to be like, and what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like. I just think he did the best in terms of doing that, and the pictures really help portray the beauty of what the land's gonna what the queue would look like.
I completely agree, because I think Disney's even testing out a new technology where they're going to put the bioluminescent forests in at night. So this is actually what hopefully it's going to look like if you have an outdoor queue portion. The first two pictures itself are of just the plant life in Avatar. And then you go in, a nice picture. I don't know if that's the planet in Avatar or not. It is Avatar. Maybe it's looking at another planet from Pandora.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, awesome visuals. And he did a really good job of, again, explaining how you're walking through the queue. And I think the one thing that knocked him off from the win was just that it was posted late.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that was really the only thing. Other than that, he probably would have taken the win.
Had he posted it 54 minutes sooner?
Yeah, I think what happened was he just got mixed up. Sorry, with the time, because I think he's in the Central Time Zone. But
Okay,
every time
so
we say 7 p.m., he thinks it's only 6 p.m.
yes, because on my thing it shows up. I have it set on Central Time because I'm in Louisiana, and so it's set up to 6 p.m. So he might have read that, saw the other people's post and saw 6, and then did his post, and turns out it was 7. Or another possibility is he could have been writing it in his in the response column and maybe lost track of time. And by the time that he posted it, it was too late.
But at least he posted one.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the big thing.
Yeah. Because as we'll see now, the 3 other people unfortunately didn't post anything last night. I mean,
I'm back, by the way, guys.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Welcome back. Yeah.
So did you guys get through both the other sudden elimination?
Yes.
Okay. I don't really have too much to add.
Yeah. What did you feel about it, or did you have?
I don't really. Honestly, I hate to say this, but I was kind of just skimming them like before I went on air, so I don't really have too much to say. I think it's interesting that people are starting to use the walking with dinosaurs technology more and more.
Yeah, that's actually been there was, I think CTEX did a walking with dinosaurs thing for his AOI challenge.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, because I remember reviewing that. But is there anything else?
No, that was really the only thing that stuck out about the 2 projects to me. I'm sorry, I don't have any.
Oh no!
I'm sure you guys covered it.
Yeah, we covered it. And right now we're on the 3 people that didn't post. As a judge, and Space can relate with me on this one. We did debate for a bit what we should do about the members who were being inactive.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of bothers me that these people didn't, at least, it always bothers me, even when I'm a contestant, when these people don't respond, because it makes it a bit harder to try and make a deal with them, because of course, you want to assume that, maybe something just came up and they weren't able to do it,
to give you guys a good example, though, IDI, he literally just posted, that he was at the 24-hour event.
Yeah, or Infinite,
Or, I'm sorry, Infinite, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And, it would have been very nice if he would have, let you guys know in advance, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing.
It always let the judges know, whether something may be coming up. Now, if you get in a car accident or something just completely out of the blue,
of course,
then
I had a family member in the hospital for 3 weeks, so there was a period of time where I was very erratic with my podcasting schedule.
Yeah. So in those scenarios for contestants, email us, the judges, me, Space, and IDI. Email us, say this is what was going on. I'm really sorry, and if you did create something, whether it's 2 sentences or just a picture or whatever, send that to us, so we know you at least put some work.
Because like one of these people could have very much been saved by literally posting a sentence and technically having a project.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad that isn't what happened. But I guess all we can do right now going forward is just give advice to those who are still in, something going on, make sure the judges are aware, or if you do miss a deadline, contact the judges, let them know what happened, what went on, maybe show us what you did create, and that makes it easier for us to decide how we should handle the situation, how we should deal with it, because when we were all discussing, when all of the judges were in the PM and we were talking, we didn't know what we were going to do, because part of us wanted to give them another chance.
Yeah, IDI and myself were talking about that. We wanted to our initial thought was to give them the benefit of the doubt and to give them some extra time, but then we decided, like, that's just going to open up a can of worms later on, because we have a couple extra days now, but we might not have those extra days later on, and I think that might set off a bad vibe, giving 3 people who haven't been as active some extra time.
It's definitely a point of controversy in general throughout this season is the use of extra time, and I think it worked out really well with the when both teams used the extension hours.
I definitely agree. Because we tried to come up with a system that's beneficial to both the contestants.
And I think the extension hours are. I think it's a very fair system.
All we tried to do is we were given this 2-month timeline, and we had all these ideas, and we want to include them all. It can get tough sometimes with the shorter competitions. I will say probably from now on you guys are going to have more. It's not going to be like boom, 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 48-hour competition.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. But I think people did a really good job of telling us, hey, by the way, I'm going to be gone from May 22nd to whenever.
Of course,
And I think that was
Joker's on vacation right now.
Yeah, we had Michael, I think, was gone beginning of end of June, I think. T Cool was gone this weekend. Or was it next? I don't remember. It was one of those two. We have it all written down somewhere. It's on the discussion thread. But yeah, I think that was pretty good that we did that, and because we're not trying to screw anyone over, we want everyone to participate. And if everyone wants to participate, then go ahead and participate. If you don't want to participate, then kind of like that Joker's opening reel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want to post shit, don't post shit. If you don't want to post shit, don't post shit.
But if you want to, we want to give you as much opportunity you can to post.
Oh God.
Now,
I seriously want to just have a sound clip of that and play it before every WDW Magic podcast, because that was legendary.
Have we heard from Darth Disney and Brer Panther?
I don't think so, but I mean,
we did hear from
who?
I believe we heard from Infinite, correct?
Yeah, we heard from Infinite.
He was apologetic. I mean, there's nothing really you can do if you went to a 24-hour event.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, except I think the thing he could have done is let you guys know he was going to that.
True.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit. I don't know. Maybe we could have done something where we had it due today, maybe.
And then you're like, okay, well, we know Infinite. We know the reason why Infinite isn't posting. Instead, like, Infinite hadn't been online since, like Tuesday
Wednesday.
Or something like that? Yeah.
Darth Disney was Tuesday. Infinite was Wednesday. I'm not sure about Brer Panther.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, we were like, he was online last night. But maybe he just forgot. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't speak to Brer Panther myself.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not gonna speculate.
Right.
Sometimes people just forget.
Exactly. I do think these are. I think with the final 10 people, I think we have a really strong cast going forward, though, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. So Tiki, do you want to just run down who it is, just so everyone?
Sure. How about we run down who is in the final 10 based on the fantasy league and give everyone a little update, okay?
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay, so Sam, you're gonna win. Like, just straight up, man, you are gonna kick both of our asses because you still have all 5 of your initial picks, and they are 5 of the strongest players on the board. So we have Matt, we have Michael, T Cool, CTax98, and MC Paradox. And by God, for my money, if that whole team is just the final 5 and just completely decimates both Space and our people, then I would not be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised. Okay, Space, he has myself, he has Disney Princess, and then he also has Orlando. I feel like Orlando is very much a player who's kind of like a dark horse right now. And then I am holding on with dear life. I have JDM and Jokers, and they are my heroes of my fantasy draft. Yeah.
And then you have me sitting back, and I actually have it written down for the first time. I've got, or did you already go over who I have?
You have, I went over. You have Matt, Armichael, T Cool, CTax, and Paradox.
Paradox, yeah.
Yeah, Paradox.
To be honest, I thought I was going to be the one with people dropping out like flies.
Well, it didn't work out that way, buddy. And for the record, me and Space are officially teamed up against you. We just want one of our 5 people to beat one of your 5 people, and that's our whole goal for the rest of the game.
Because there will be only one winner at the end, so we
Indeed.
You got a 20% chance, I got a 30% chance.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say, for those of you who may be worried about, bias voting, I'll be the first to say that this is like I still haven't, I've been so out of the loop in general that I haven't even gotten a lot of opportunities to, be there.
Good news, though, as of right now, we are officially caught up.
Yeah, we are.
Yes,
we are caught up.
We are caught up with the profile series, guys, but I will get on to that. We need to do Tom Sawyer. We need to do Tom Sawyer's Island. We need to do something on transportation. We need to do, I don't know, for the Avatar land. You want us to talk about Soren? Or what do you want us to, or Q's maybe?
I'll leave that up to you because you're kind of in control of that. The profiles.
Okay.
And it's your channel too, so you do whatever you want. You got plenty of time this week.
Yeah, sure. And Monkey's back. So I'm definitely going to be doing some stuff with Monkey, and all right. But anyways, I also think it would be a good idea, to in the future do a mid-season character assessment or player cast assessment.
Yeah, cast assessment.
What would you consider mid-season then? Would that be with 8 people left?
I would do with 8 and.
Okay.
Wait, how many did you say? I didn't quite get that on my end.
There's 10 left now.
There's 10 left now, and it's out of 16 people. So once we get down to final 8, that'll be half the cast left.
Yeah, and we can do that on my channel and do a cast assessment of who's left and kind of look at their projects that they submitted this season, how they're doing, what their chances are. But other than that, we should be starting to get back on track for a weekly format of doing these reviews. And most of them, unless I'm not available, will be on the Sam Magic YouTube channel. If I'm not available, they will be here on Tiki's.
Indeed.
And so we return Tuesday, correct?
Monday, tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I think I had posted in the end for Orlando and MC Paradox since he's in they're in England or in the Netherlands, that they just won't get the post until Tuesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was the only reason why.
So we come back Monday, and of course we'll find out tomorrow when the next project is
I'm really excited because it's so up in the air. Like, are we going to be in the same teams? Are we going to swap to? Is it going to be 3 teams of 3? Who knows? I don't expect you guys to tell me, but I'm really excited to find out.
I was telling Tiki earlier. I don't know if we were on air or not, but
I don't think so.
Oh, well, I can say it now. The next session, because IDI and myself, we've been working on this since February, and he came to me. Yeah. We both had ideas and stuff. This idea, I will say, is just all his, and it has not been changed since February. That's how good we thought it was.
Okay.
I mean, ironically, it was just changed like 2 days ago because we had to eliminate one more person, but it wasn't changed drastically.
Yeah, fair enough.
But this one, hopefully, this one will be pretty good. This out of all of them is probably the one I'm most looking forward to. Just because I don't think it's ever been done before in a competition.
We'll see. I'll tell you if it's been done, and so you want to be an Imagineer.
Okay. Cool.
I'll let you know.
It's gonna be very, very interesting.
All right.
So
I guess that ends. Now we're all caught up, and
we made it.
Thank you, Space, for joining me, and thank you,
Oh,
Sam.
no
I apologize, Sam, for not looking at the Hangout for like a half an hour. That was dumb on my end.
No, it's fine. I should have gotten on earlier. I got a bit sidetracked. So it's my fault, and I hope I didn't interrupt the show too much.
No, you're fine.
No.
All right. And now I'm gonna go back to watching a marathon of Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Oh, hell yeah!